Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity of welcoming you to the age of experience, a time when technology allows us the privilege of sharing knowledge and information at the speed of light, a time where instant communication is a reality, and a time where the seemingly impossible is now possible. But the interesting thing about the age of experience is that it's brought with it a new breed of customer. A customer who has now got the power to decide who they do business with, when they do business with them, and how they do business with them. They're a whole new breed. And what I'd like to do is introduce you to this new breed of customer. They're called the CX generation, and I'd like you to have a look at this.
Did you hear that? That's the balance of power changing. We are your neighbors, your brothers and sisters, co-workers, kids, your grandmothers. We're the driver sitting at the red light next to you, the other passengers on the plane. And now we have the power. It used to be Madison Avenue, census data, focus groups, secret shoppers. It used to be jingles, endorsements, infomercials, coupons. It used to be, the customer is always right, said those who didn't listen. But that was yesterday. Today we found our voice. We are strangers, but we are organized. We won't wait for your big data. We want whatever, whenever, wherever. 9 to 5. We live 24 hours a day. We are a moving target. We move fast. We are a movement. We are cutting cords, changing the way things work. Status quo, status no. We brought down the taxi industry, but we are not the enemy. We are your opportunity. We are growing, getting better at getting better. We are your path to success, if you can keep up with us. We'll be on the winning team because we'll pick the winners. We are not millennials. We are families with more Facebook followers than you. We are not baby boomers. We are grandmothers who order Christmas gifts from a touchscreen. Gen X. Gen Y? No. We are Generation CX. And you can be too, if you listen to us. Create for us. Join us. Generation CX.
So, welcome to Generation CX. They're not the enemy. They're our opportunity. And in fact, they are just kids with iPads and grannies who are ordering Christmas presents off their cell phones. But at the end of the day, they're just like people like you and I, who, compliments of technology, have now demanded more from the companies that we're doing business with. We're demanding more all the time. And if we're to succeed moving into the future, we need to understand the CX generation and what their needs and their wants and their desires are. So now that I've told you about the CX generation and who our customers are, let's have a look at what is the difference between customer service and customer experience, because this is the question that I'm asked the most. So let me start at the very beginning and say, customer service takes a one-dimensional view of our relationship with a customer. It is the backbone to everything that has been successful about our company so far. And don't get me wrong, I am not dissing it at all. In fact, customer service is still the foundation of anything that we do with our customers. The only problem with customer service is that traditionally it took place at the point of sale. So whether we were at a shop, whether we were at a bank, or whether we were at a restaurant, it was about how people smiled at us and gave us service. So it was very one-dimensional. The difference with customer experience is that it takes a three-dimensional view of the relationship and the interaction that we have with the customer, from beginning to end. Customer experience looks at how did the customer feel when we didn't answer the phone in 3 rings? How did the customer feel when they went onto our website and we greeted them by name? It looks at every single touch point that we have with a customer. And unless we're looking at this and improving every single touch point, it's highly unlikely that we're going to succeed into the future. So where do we start to get customer experience focused? There are a couple of things that we need to do. The first thing that we need to do is shift our thinking. The other thing we have to do is change our mindset. But more than anything, we have to challenge traditional business strategy. And I'll tell you why. Because traditional business strategy always had profit at the center of strategy. And the whole thing with customer experience is that we now have to put the customer at the center of strategy. If I stopped here now and said to the people in this room, how many of your KPIs are based on sales, budgets, forecasts, targets, and anything sales and revenue related, I guarantee you that 80% of the people in this room are incentivized and paid based on the revenue and sales that they produce, not on how they satisfy customer needs. And the concept of customer experience is that if we change the strategy and we put the customer at the center of strategy, sales, revenue, profit will follow. And that's the difference, and that's what we need to be doing. And you know, there's nobody who did this better than Steve Jobs from Apple. And I want you to have a listen to what he said about customer experience.
One of the things I've always found is that you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. And I've got the scar tissue to prove it. And I know that it's the case. And as we have tried to come up with a strategy and a vision for Apple, it started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer?
So if we listen to anyone, we listen to Steve Jobs. We've got to start with the customer experience, and we've got to work backwards. So now we know who our customers are, and we know that we have to deliver an experience to them. Let's have a look at what do our customers want today? What are customers like you and I demanding? And I've actually brought up 6 key demands that customers want today. Unfortunately, I only have time to go through 2 or 3 of them. But I'm going to start off at the very beginning and say the key demand of your customers today is about experience and convenience and access. They want to be able to access whatever you've got to offer them in a convenient manner. And the first company I'd like to reference here is a company called Disney. And as it was mentioned in my introduction, I had the pleasure and privilege of working and studying with Disney in 2006. And what really fascinated me about Disney was their insatiable desire to be better all the time. Do you know that Disney's been providing the best entertainment experience in the world for over 100 years? And in fact, what they do is continuously look at different and better ways of doing it. Anyone who's been to Disney would have seen something like this. Is there anyone here who's been to Disney? Okay. I bet all of you, when you look at this, it's the mid-afternoon parade on Main Street. What happens? It drives you emotionally because there's nothing quite like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse dancing on Main Street in Disneyland. Because this is what builds memories. This is what drives experience. And even though Disney have done it better than anybody else, in 2014, they invested in excess of $1 billion in technology to ensure that they delivered a better customer experience. And what they did, they spent that $1 billion on what we call the Disney My Magic Plus app. And that app, what happened was, let's say a family booked to go on holiday at Disneyland. They immediately download the app, and in that app, what they can do is they can book rides in the Magic Kingdom. They can go and book rides on Space Mountain. They can book rides for their daughter to do a meet and greet with Cinderella. They book their whole experience on the app online. And then what happens when they arrive at Disney, each member of the family is given a wristband, which has a direct connection to the app. And the wonderful thing about this wristband is that firstly, if you want transport, you just swipe the wristband. If you want to go on a ride, you swipe the wristband. One of the best things about it, it is also the key to your hotel room. So there's no more giving kids keys who lose them. You give the kids their wristband and they just swipe it. The only danger with this, of course, is that kids can also walk into all the stores in Disneyland and help themselves to Disney merchandise. Okay? They can buy Pluto and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So they do advise that you put a bit of a budget onto this thing. All right? But let me show you quickly how this works.
Be our guest, be our guest, let our magic do the rest. Just think of all the fun sharing, your time will be the best. Meet the princess, what a treat. You've booked ahead, so here's a seat. Get on rides in less time, makes every memory divine.
Stay at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels and enjoy new Fast Pass Plus during our test.
Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest.
So Disney have got convenience down to an absolute fine art. But that's what we call, a customer convenience. Let's have a look at one which is our business-to-business convenience. And I couldn't help but show you this one. And Shangri-La Resorts, and I'm sure you know Shangri-La Resorts. They sat down last year and said, how can we make things more convenient for our customers? And what they did was they went out to all of their hotels and resorts around the world, and they took 360-degree videos of predominantly their conference and corporate event facilities. And then let's have a look at what they did there. You can see here, it looks like fisheye, it's 360 degree. So you look at their conference and corporate event facilities, whether it's in banquet style, schoolroom style, boardroom style, anything else. Once they had this video, what they did was they gave each and every one of their salespeople around the world a Samsung 360-degree virtual reality set. So now, the Shangri-La sales executives in New York can walk into a customer who wants to have a conference in Hong Kong. And they can put the virtual reality set on, slip in the 360-degree video of Kowloon, Hong Kong, Shangri-La. And the customer can sit there in their office in New York and have a full experience of what their event would look like without moving out of their office. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the extents that companies are going to give their customers a better experience. And the question, of course, is, what have you done in the last week, month, or year to increase the convenience of your customers? Because it's all very well me standing up here and talking about it, but it's what have you done as a business to improve experience. Let's move on to the next one. The next one, I believe, is what we call customization or personalization. And that's changed. Customization is about how you take the knowledge, information, and data and integrate it to give your customers a personalized experience. And I want to give you an example that I had very, very recently. Airbnb is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I've got them on every device that I happen to have, all right? But not so long ago, I was planning a holiday in Thailand in December. I was looking on the Airbnb website, and basically what I was doing was I'm having a family holiday. So I was looking in December, I needed 4 bedrooms, and I needed a villa. And do you know, within 24 hours of me doing a search on Airbnb, I got this message. Hi, Lynn, you've been looking at Koh Samui. Look no further. We've got everything you need. And they gave me a picture that looked something like that. And what do you think I did immediately? I booked it there and there online. Why? Because they took the time to use the data, integrate that data, and personalize it to me, Lynn Baker. They knew where I was going, what I wanted to hire, when I needed it, and how I needed it. They presented me with exactly what I needed, and they had a book now button, and I booked it now. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for me in December, that's exactly where I'm going to be, okay? Let me go through this quickly. I'm running out of time. The other things I talk about are cost and value and customer service. But the one thing I wanted to address this morning that is a huge demand of our customers today is CSI and social responsibility. And I brought this up particularly, as you know, the CEO Sleep Out is happening this evening in Johannesburg. And I ask you all to please support that as much as possible. But I bring it up because customers today not only want you to be socially responsible, they are demanding that you are socially responsible. There are customers like me out there. I will no longer buy cosmetics at a normal retail store because I have read so much information about the cruelty to animals that cosmetic companies are using to build cosmetics. I will no longer be part of that process, and I know how many people are. So many of my friends. So I buy all my cosmetics at the Body Shop. And there are so many examples like this. And I don't know if you've seen how Unilever are now driving their sustainability plan to drive their social consciousness. You may have seen this on TV, but have a look at how seriously Unilever are taking social responsibility.
Never in my 117 years did I imagine I'd come to this. Ironic as it may sound, I might be safer in the city than in the rainforest. You are the only living being that can help. And seeing your faces, I now know that you will.
So we've spoken about who our customers are. We've spoken about that our customers are demanding that they want convenience, they want customization, and they want companies. They want to deal with companies who are socially responsible. But I think I've given you too many examples this morning of companies who have multi-million-dollar budgets. And in order to deliver a great customer experience, you don't have to have millions of dollars. And I want to share a little story with you. So in December last year, I go over to Thailand, where I've told you my son lives in Thailand. And he lives in a small place in the south of Thailand called Saratani. And I flew over there. I'd been traveling for 20 or 30 hours, and I was really exhausted. And he'd booked me into this little B&B, and I arrived, and like any jet-lagged people, I fell asleep, and I woke up in the morning. And the interesting thing was I opened my door, and there were a couple of pairs of slippers outside my door, or sandals outside my door. And I went, well, that's really nice, you know. The workers left their shoes behind. So on the way out, I stopped at reception, and I said to this little Thai lady, I said to her, excuse me, but somebody left their sandals at my front door. And this little Thai lady turned around and said to me, no, 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 the sandals are for you. And I said to her, but I don't need a pair of sandals. So she said to me, no, no, no. She says, your feet wear the sandals, and they like the sandals. She said, if your feet are happy, then you're happy. If you're happy, you come back, kop kom ka. And I stood there in the south of Thailand and realized I just had the most remarkable customer experience. And it didn't cost them anything. What it did cost them, all right, is the most important thing, the key to customer centricity, which is employee engagement. That customer was totally, that employee was totally engaged, and that's why she gave it to me. And just one example before I finish. Ritz-Carlton have been accredited with giving the best service in the world for years and years and years. And I was recently studying in Dubai. I went to a customer experience masterclass in Dubai, and we studied what is it that the Ritz-Carlton did. And it was directly in line with their employee engagement, because what they do, they have what they call their Northern Star, their guiding star, which is the guiding principle in a customer experience strategy. And Ritz-Carlton have this, where they say, we have ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. What that does is it takes your employees, in the minds of your employees, they know that they are as important as your customers. A customer experience strategy cannot be delivered without employee engagement. It's not possible. So in order for me to finish up here, all I want to do to summarize is say, in the words of Steve Jobs, we have to think differently. In order to deal with the new customer experience generation, we have to be delivering innovative methods and ideas on how we deal and embrace and engage our customers. And there's nothing I've seen better that's made me think out of the box about how to do this than an ad by Coca-Cola. And I'm going to end off with showing you this advertisement by Coca-Cola.
मजदूरी करके अगर मेरे बीवी, मेरे बच्चे, मेरे माँ बाप अगर खुश रहेंगे तो मैं हमेशा इधर ही रह सकता हूँ।
सर इसलिए करते हैं कि बच्चे अच्छे पढ़ लिख जाएं, अच्छा लाइफ होएगा उनका, तो हमारा भी लाइफ अच्छा निकलेगा।
रोज 1 मिनट 2 मिनट बात करने के लिए तो हम लोग तरसते हैं। अगर 1-2 मिनट रोज बात कर सकते तो हम कितने खुश होंगे इसमें।
यहाँ और कुछ छुट्टी चीज तुम्हारी रहती क्या?
और 3 मिनट दिए ना फ्री बात करने के लिए।
हाँ भाई फ्री भाई चिंता नहीं ले पता भी तो कौन जना मेरा।
അതുകൊണ്ടൊരു ക്യാപ്പ് ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും കരുതി. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ വീണ്ടും ഞാൻ ഈ ക്യാപ്പ് ഇട്ടിട്ട് വീണ്ടും എൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയോട് സംസാരിക്കാൻ ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു.
भाई के साथ तो मैं जुम्मा का दिन किया बात और आज फिर किया तो वो बहुत खुश हो गया।
बीवी गुस्से में थी तो और मैंने नए नंबर से बात किया तो खुश हो गया।
And so the lesson here is, ladies and gentlemen, if Coca-Cola can use such innovative thinking that they use their caps as currency, what can you do in your business that can drive a better customer experience? Thank you for your time.